Hello everyone. Sorry, I'm probably gonna sneeze a bit in this video. I sometimes have small sneezing fits. Unfortunately, I guess bad timing, but I don't want to get this video done. I'd rather do something crafty, but my mind isn't focusing enough to think on it. And I wouldn't be doing the phone case right now. That would be slightly too messy. But don't worry, guys. The phone case thing is still happening, and there will be more content on the phone case because I'm definitely getting that done. I also bought some more stuff, and I also want to do something else creative, uh, a different thing, nothing like useful, but something I think would be really cool. And I don't fully know what it would be yet, but I roughly know, and I think it'd be sort of one of the things that I started on it, and it would become something as I went along. So that will be something interesting. Maybe I'll mention in this video, but this is actually another thing on things for your physical and mental well-being. Last time I mentioned, your dietary stuff, your activity levels and what you're eating and stuff like that. And I got a response through Facebook, a friend of mine, and I won't go and say who or anything like that, but it's like you know, basically it's like glad pointed out sort of thing. Well, not glad, but and I felt somewhat bad because I'm like I wasn't thinking of him in mind when I made the video. I made it because it was something I wanted to do anyway, but also I had many slash no one in mind. Um, but to be honest, as I said to him and I'll say here, I bet many people will have watched that video, or possibly anyone who has watched it, and will have thought somewhat parts apply to them, or maybe they felt resonated, and maybe it was hard to hear. Because it actually, yeah, I could do better. Or some of this does apply to me, and yes, it's isn't good. And maybe you heard it, and you kind of want to like act like it doesn't. Um, it sucks, doesn't it? Knowing that you're not treating your body the best, and that yes, your mental and physical well-being are linked to how you treat your body and what you're putting into it and what you're doing with it and etc. But hey, that's okay. You know, it's okay if the video you feel like it applied to you, because then you can help yourselves. And it isn't easy, and it is a journey, and it is hard. There's gonna be ups and downs. There's gonna be days where you don't look after your body as well, treat it as right, and but hey, that's it. You can also be kind of fun, and becoming healthy is obviously an amazing thing that everyone should strive for in this day and age, especially when the world's trying to push such things that they try to deem healthy for you, but in reality will actually do you great harm. Um, so today I'm gonna talk into something else that can help with stuff. This is more mental well-being. Um, a lot of people struggle with low mood stuff, whether you want to call that depression or just life, really life, or if sometimes things just get a bit hard and overwhelming. If you don't want to try to associate that with any form of low mood depression, it's okay. I understand. I don't always like to say I'm depressed because I was never actually formally diagnosed. Um, Obviously I am, but that's fine. So I want to talk about something, and I am again. I gotta be a hypocrite. I haven't actually physically started doing it yet. Not physically right now, but I'm gonna get to that eventually. It's one of those things where I know if I start, it's gonna go well. But I personally struggle with many stuff like my mood. Things can really overwhelm me, upset me at times. Some things will may cause me to be like, either maybe I'll get angry, or I'll respond angrily or very frustratedly. You know, like say I woke up and maybe I'm already just feeling slightly off that day. You know, like things just gonna irritate me a bit more. Maybe write that down, but you're probably not gonna write down that point, are you? You know, that's just it happens. And then say when and I know it's stuff I need to do that day, but say it's written down or whatever. Maybe it's clear some rubbish, do washing up. Maybe I need to vacuum the rugs. Maybe I need to clean the table because it's got stuff piling on it again, which it does. I need to do it again. Um, I will eventually. And say the cats are being a bit, they're running around a bit with each other, getting near my leg and they're tripping over all the time. Maybe they're meowing at me a lot as well. Maybe one of them's just done something in the litter and it's absolutely stinks, and that's the extra thing that's like, but that's not as important to do to clean now. You need to like do it in. Maybe you're like, fine, I'm gonna clean the table. Say I decided to clean the table, because that's probably the thing that's gonna anger me the most. And I'm looking at it, and it's like, ah, where to start? And part of the starting process, it will be you picking back up and putting it down and being frustrated. And then maybe there's a knock on the door, maybe delivery's coming, you have to go get that. Maybe it's Amazon, so they probably just left it on the floor. But you feel the need to respond and open the door as soon as possible in case there's someone there. There isn't. You probably whack yourself on something and do the whole process of getting that package. You made a mess somewhere else, and you've gone back, and then you go back to clean stuff off the table. You probably put the package on the table as well. Why not? Or you've put it in the living room and mess and mess. And then maybe one of the cats trip you over a bit. Stuff falls on the table and becomes more of a mess, and you kind of scream out and just frustrated and you're done with it all. And then you don't really get much else done today because that's just gone all wrong or whatever. It's kind of turned into a bigger mess and you can't bring yourself to deal with it anymore. Big overwhelming. Done. And in that time as it's happening, you're not processing, your emotions and all that. It's just feeling them. You just get, you look around irritated, angry, and of everything. Everyone will come to a woman too much. You can't really think, done, etc. But at that moment in time, it's probably the best time to understand why you got angry. That's when you'll remember it in most detail. If you can bring yourself to, if you have a journal, write down exactly what you felt in that catastrophizing moment. Or when you got your when you peaked at your thing that everything just came crashing down because everything was too much. Write down how you're feeling. And if you know the situation, write it down. You're probably not going to want to write down much after that, because if you can even get that down, you're going to, you're suddenly probably rather in that mindset, and you're probably going to need to wind down, and maybe you'll go on your phone and scroll through stuff or whatever you do. Then, once you've calmed down a bit, you're going to go back to your journal, or wherever you wrote down on, and you can look through it. And then you're going to think about how you felt before that moment, what was leading up to it. what other things irritated you or whatever, what other things started to build up the sort of tension you was already getting into to then eventually become the big wind up catastrophizing moment. The only reason I'm saying to write it down is because you're probably not going to really remember it in your head very well. I mean, I vaguely do it in my head. That's the reason I would start writing things down, but I probably should, because you don't remember things in as much detail, and maybe it could be beneficial if you write it down physically, so you can have all that extra detail. Basically, make yourself almost your interest. Like, you know how I'm autistic and like, oh wow, very interesting. Because probably that is actually. Like, maybe you'd even think, even when I woke up, I was already slightly off in the mood. And if that is the case, maybe if you wake up and already feel somewhat off the day, maybe there's something you could do that would, you know, just put you in a better mindset for the day before getting on with stuff. Maybe you getting on straight on stuff with life without doing something even just for 5 minutes at the start of the day first could help put you in a better mood for a better day and less likely to. Yeah. Does planning out what you need to do for the day help? Does like, oh, if you already knew what you was having for your meals or any food stuff, or if you was going anywhere for the day, like you need to go do any shopping or what have you, or any tasks, maybe work in some exercise. Like, oh, I get up, maybe I go for even just a walk back garden, or maybe you have your first. If you have a nice garden, it's not raining. Maybe you have your first drink out there. Or if you need, if you need your tea or your coffee in the morning, like that's like that's a thing for you, and that's your routine. Maybe if you do to have it inside, maybe do it with like a window open. If it's raining, and you're just taking that air and just breathe for a bit, and just calmly think of what you need to do for the day, and maybe you kind of put like a time bracket, so like roughly when you want this sort of stuff done. Also if you have a job, that you'd have to work around that. But yes, when you have these moments of catastrophe, or when you peak into like a thing that ends up like having too much, I'm too overwhelming and what have you. I think if you can write down immediately what you're feeling, and then you go back to when you've initially calm down and think about what led up to that situation, what else happened that day. Even if you're not certain, write it down, and then maybe later that day or even a week after a week or whatever, go back and look at all these maybe entries you've put in and just analyze triggering points. Maybe you can see what like things that add up that doing this thing all these times linked to me becoming like this. All this linked to me having this catastrophizing moment. Maybe you can see, oh, well, it says here that on this day and that time, I woke up already feeling off. Or so maybe, oh yeah, I woke up and went straight into trying to get stuff sorted. And then shortly after, done. Or maybe I didn't go for a walk first, or maybe I didn't, let myself breathe for a moment. Maybe, some days you just feel really down. You do nothing. You don't feel like it's a catastrophized moment, but you get like next to nothing done. Very unproductive day. Write down what you did that day. Maybe you got up and literally went straight to your phone, and that was it. Maybe then, if you do that a lot, you do need to plan out what you need to do for day / the week. You have things you think you need to do, like, oh, get up, and have it even written down as like a schedule, like a routine. Maybe that will help you to then do it, you know, because it's like there for you to do. You know, maybe it would help if someone told you what to do, but you don't have that as an option, so you need to make a sort of schedule for yourself. Maybe have it as like a kids, like chart, with the chores and stuff like that, but like everything written down. Make it all nice. Maybe. I haven't done this. I want to, but I don't have the, what's the word? Patience? I don't know. Also the space. But, most people have a cleaner house than me, I think. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? These are things that could help you. I know the reason I move this is because I can see in my head. It's very hard to explain, but I work from a sense of common sense, and also things I've learned from various things. So yeah, analyze your patterns, analyze anything that could, you could see, oh, that links that. And again, obviously look at what you're eating and all that. So it's like, this does some link to your physical and mental well-being, and from the last video as well. Because obviously, do look at what you're eating when associating your state of mind. What's your diet like being in that, recent days and all that lot? You could be dehydrated. You could have had too much like sugar in your diet, and it could mess things up. Obviously, if you have started to reduce your sugar intake, you may be crankier and maybe more likely to have a few more issues as your body's adjusting to having less to no sugar in its diet. Obviously, don't just get rid of your sugar altogether, because you will get very cranky. You know, obviously it's good to reduce it. And obviously, though, if you are having more catastrophizing like moments because you're currently reducing your sugar intake, you'll have to find ways to work around it and find ways you can manage yourself. Maybe when you're starting to get frustrated, if you need that initial few minutes of F's sake, this is everything too much, and you want to like kind of cry about it, let yourself for a little bit. Because I find sometimes if I just sit down when I've got that moment, just myself be kind of overwhelmed about it for a little bit. As long as afterwards, like 5-10 minutes, I try not doing more than 15 to 20 minutes. So it's like as if taking a break. You're taking a break to have a bit of a, in my case, meltdown, hysterical thing. But then you have to think of ways you can correct the situation. I'll give a prime example from personal experience. We've got enough time for this video. At times that when I'm physically unwell, my body's reached a point, it's in more pain, it's tired, and I'm finding it hard to get things done. So it's put me in a bad disposition to have these catastrophizing moments, because I'm always struggling to get things done. And obviously, don't put your mind in the best space, even though you still do get things done. I used to take the cat litter out by putting them in bin bags, the cat litter, and I used to put both in one bag. Also, in the end, just one of the things in one bag, but because I put so much litter in the litter trays, it made it a lot of colour and very heavy. Once or twice, been twice now, the cabin bags I used haven't been strong enough to support it, and then as I lift them up to take them outside the back door, they tear. Not fully, so not everything just comes pouring out, but it's soiled horrible. And it's happened twice, once around Christmas time, and then once a little bit back, maybe a month or so ago. And I was very overwhelmed the second time it happened, because I remember the first time it happened, I was very unwell, and it happened at night time, and I had like a whole meltdown. I still eventually managed to get sorted out. It had fallen on a doormat, and I just took the doormat out. No, I had to put the doormat in a new bin bag with the other bin bag on to slide it all into the second bin bag, and that's how I sorted it out the first time. The second time, I had just got it outside onto the doorstep, and how I sorted that time out is I realised if I tied the bin bag close, I think I emptied the outside out now actually, but you get the point. I thought if I tie it close, I already got the second bin bag ready. I think, yeah, and then I can put it upside down so it's technically on the tied end. So then the hole's facing upwards, so things no longer pouring out. And then I can put it in the second bin bag like that, like lift it upside down so it's awkward. And I sorted it out. But I had to have my I had to sit down in the house first the second time because I remembered the first time and I was already getting myself worked up over it. I can't really help that too much, but because I let myself somewhat have that moment up to, just and then I made myself, because the problem still needs to get sorted. The bin bag with the cutlery still needs to get, into the bin. I want to do that, making it the least mess as possible. How am I going to do that? First, I let myself catastrophize and think the worst scenario is that everything's going to go everywhere and it's going to be a horrible mess of cat litter, soiled cat litter, and feces all over the outside of the back door. I didn't want that. And I managed to sort it out, didn't I? I said how I sorted it out. I let myself my moment, for a few minutes or whatever. Also, depending on the situation, you might need longer. But then I had to think about it. And I did, and I managed to find a solution. And I went and did it, and it worked. Actually, I didn't even fully think of the solution until I was out there. But I'm like, worse comes worse. Oh no, things go everywhere. But, it is what it is. That's another thing. Sometimes you have to accept, even if the worst scenario does happen, you just have to live with it or deal with it, you'll have to think of a way. It's life. That is also another thing. You guys, you have to, well, my dad said, think more positively. So even when a bad situation happens, try pick something good out of it. Okay, we have cats, so sometimes accidents happen. Oh, Tiger, the farm cat, urinated in the house, nothing else to try. Oh, well, it's on a piece of bubble wrap, and luckily enough, it stayed in the bubble wrap, and I managed to put it in a bag, and none of it spilled on the floor. Yay! That's a real situation happened not even 2 or 3 days ago. I thought, oh, yeah. But it didn't go on the floor. Or the broom, which I thought it was going to do. I sorted that out very quickly. Ta-da! So, guys, I hope this helps. I know it's not the best video. I didn't go in as best detail as I could, but I hope you understood my points. Yeah. I hope you can take some advice, life lessons, or whatever from this video. And if you have any questions, you are more than welcome to ask me. If you do not want to put in the comments, you can either follow me on Facebook or Instagram, and you're more than welcome to message me. If it's a genuine question in my messenger, I will accept the request and I will respond to the message at the very least. So, I hope this helps. Guys, you're not alone. And it's not an easy journey, health and stuff. I'd be a hypocrite if I said it was. But we should all strive for some good health. If you don't want to write stuff down, at least try, think of it in your mind, okay? Anyway, guys, that's all for now. Hopefully there'll be a creative video on your way soon. See you everyone.